Hi, I'm John Solak. I live in Binghamton. I'm here to talk about IM3.
Okay.
And I don't know what you know about IM3. I don't know how you think, but in for a penny, in for a pound. And you've got to be careful who you're vouching for. And maybe you don't know these things. Number one, IM3 is owned 72% by Magnis Energy. That is an Australian penny stock. Stanley Whittingham had 500,000 shares at the last time. He was a former member of the board. He is no longer a member of the board of Magnis Energy. Magnis Energy currently is suspended in trading on the Australian Stock Exchange. Keep in mind that this company owns 72% of IM3. The auditors say that they have questions about whether Magnis is able to stay in business and go into receivership. This would, of course, put IM3 in being sold in an Australian bankruptcy court. So this is serious stuff. There's also a federal lawsuit under the Federal Labor Standards Act, which the principals, Upreti and the others, and IM3 is involved in. And I think the guy's name is Stratton. He used to work for IM3. He was a rainmaker, a fundraiser for IM3. Never got a dime for that. The guy lives in Connecticut. Never got a dime from them for any work that he did, and that's the basis of the lawsuit. Now, Upreti had a counter claim in, and so did IM3. They have abandoned their counterclaim. So that they have no action against him. And some of the allegations, and they're allegations in a complaint, but they're frightening, accusing them of all kinds of misrepresenting that company to investors and, potential people that they were doing business with. It's absolutely frightening. So now I don't have any doubt that the university can obtain grants, and a lot of them. And they can create a Hollywood set, just like they have in Vestal. They have that big research center. Well, ask them how many patents come out of that research center. Ask them how much they made in patent income, because that's what they're dealing with. So I don't have that. I wish they would finish in Johnson City first. Remember the Azon? Well, Harvey Stenger was talking about a small batch pharmaceutical. You know what it's going to be now? It's going to be low-income senior housing. The whole plan was, we need this property, we need that property, we're coming in, it's going to be big. And now it's like, well, let's get the First Ward Action Council to take it over, it's going to be a hodgepodge. So I don't have any qualms with the muscle of the state of New York investing $750 million here, because they invested $50 million in a film hub in Syracuse. And everybody told Cuomo when he put that up, you can't get the crew, the film business, you don't know what you're doing. We're going to have a studio, we're going to have cameras, we're going to have lights. They didn't have the crews. The crews are all based in New York and Los Angeles. They don't come up on a flyer unless they're on location, because that's a separate deal. So, and that was $50 million, 150, it was sold for $15 million, something like that, yeah. So what I'm telling you is that, and I'm in touch with Australian investors. Some shareholders have appointed me their representative here because they want to find out. A lot of people have lost their life savings. The stock's illiquid. They can't trade it. And it was built, this company has gone through numerous board members, numerous other shares. This is not the first time that the Australian regulators have been after them. Charges of people of their executives that were involved in organized crime, blah, blah, blah. So, you've got to ask Upreti point blank, what happens in a bankruptcy? Are you in control? Can you get out of Magnis? Can you get out of Magnis? And what's the worst case scenario? Because, it's a bigger deal than you think. And I know what you're trying to do. And I'm all for optimism. But at the same time, when you put your imprimatur on it, when you say this is great for Endicott, then you're in, and if it doesn't work out, if you get egg on your face, and there's numerous economic development deals all over, solar panels in Buffalo all over, And the thing. So this is something. When you're dealing with eggheads and technology, the average person won't refute anything. But let me tell you something. The financials speak for themselves. Anybody with any kind of bookkeeping training can go over and look at the financials and say there's something wrong here. IM3, Magnis Energy, like this, joined at the hip. IM3 cannot raise the capital. They're trying, but they can't. So good luck. Thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate that, and that's just a point of information, and you all should know it. Thanks.
Well, thank you,
Hey,
Professor.
John, can I ask him a question? Yeah, John, you say, can you ask Upredi if he can get out from Magnis? What would that mean? Or
Well,
like if they're bankrupt, what do you mean?
well,
Go down with the ship with them, or what do you mean?
yeah, it's
Maybe
well, it's seven. We know it's 72%. Magnis owns 72%. That we know. We don't know the Australian bankruptcy laws. That's for sure. We know that the stock is suspended. We know the press reports. There's speculation of how Upredi got involved with these people to begin with, and he did. He may be innocent in all this. He may just have gotten involved with the wrong people, because they're a mining company is what they are. So and he got in, and somehow they got another, because it's only been in the last year that Magnis went from 62 to 72. So it's thing. Oh, and by the way, this is an interesting thing. Whittingham leaves the board of Magnis. He leaves the board of Magnis, and he goes to another company, just elected in 2023, June, of a company called Microvast. Now, that is a battery company that's publicly traded in the United States. It's been around for about 18 years. They were going to they have a plant in Tennessee. Now, whether they bring they have a plant in China. I don't know how it works, but Whittingham going to this company and becoming a board member is very, very curious to me. But this is at least a United States company that is thing. So one might ask Stanley Whittingham, why did you leave Magnis? What do you think of Magnis? And what about this company that's very, very similar? Very similar. So, you just, look, I'd like to have respect for people, and I'm not an angry guy. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but these things are out there. Now, I got to be the guy that gets them, I guess. I guess that's my interest, but this is the thing. So maybe Microvast is coming here and you don't know it. Maybe that's the case. But the only other thing about Magnis is they were going to set up 2 other battery plants, gigafactories, and one was in Australia, and the local government there got involved, a ton of government money, and they kiboshed the deal because they didn't think so. They're interested in batteries. They have battery plants. It's I hate to see another Sunjeel. You know what I mean? I hate to see something go down to the wire, and then because look, Harvey Stanger and Chuck Schumer, they're very powerful people, but they're not powerful in Australia, and that's the problem. If you probably say, well, look, I've got it right here. I can get out of this at any time. No state. If they could get out of it, they would get out of it. So, is the state of New York going to go and bid in an Australian bankruptcy court? So this is coming. Push is coming to shove here, and you'll probably know something by the end of, to me, it seems like Magnis is holding on for the taste of the government money, so they can shore up their balance sheet. Now, I wrote Schumer. If Schumer does no due diligence, and this is like, you can do this due diligence in 10 minutes. If he's going to give them $750 million and rescue them from insolvency, there's a lot of American companies that need to be rescued too while we're at it. Okay, that's it. Thanks. Oh, did you have anything else, Ben?
well, you're the second person that's brought this up.
Yeah.
It's interesting, so we appreciate you telling us that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's got another
Yeah, we went. I attended a meeting over in their auditorium, and the local newspaper guy that's the Oh, there's a lot of the company investigations. He brought up the same thing.
Oh, Jeff, the Platsky?
Platsky.
Yeah.
Same exact thing. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
kind of took the air out of my,
yeah. Well,
you know, enthusiasm, if
Well,
it's true, 'cause it's.
I asked, I ran into Harvey at Broome Community College. I asked him, and he doesn't want to answer. I mean, I'm not trying to make him look bad. You know, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe they don't follow this. You know, maybe they don't follow it. But now, you know, I've got emails out. You know, Schumer knows.
Did
You know.
he say anything at all?
No, he walked away like, you know, he got in his internal combustion truck, by the way, you know, and he walked away. So that's how much, you know. Everybody and nobody's driving an electric car, but we're going to make the batteries. Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.